Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to the channel. My name is Nick O'Leary, and today we're having a look at something that we use every day, and that is your parking sensors. Now, you may be wondering, I know how my parking sensors work. You know, they beep when they get near objects, but did you know the distances that the yellow, orange and red lines show on the screen? And there is a setting that I recommend almost every Mercedes-Benz owner change to take advantage of. I'll show you that in a minute. So focusing on most new Mercedes models after approximately 2018, most now show the parking sensors up on the multimedia screen. So the second you get near any objects, it will fade out any audio and show you the parking sensors so you can see how close you are to objects. Now these distances, so the yellow starts at about a metre to 0.6 metres, the orange is 0.6 metres to 0.3, and then the red of course is very close. This is 0.3 metres or less. And that's just about close enough on the red. How much is this car? 50,000, okay. Now for those of you watching and listening really closely, did you notice when it beeped? It beeped literally last second on the red. And on the red, it's about actually the width of your steering wheel. So for kind of point of reference when you're sat in here, about the width of the steering wheel is how far away it is when it's on the red. However, these are different to the rear. So have a listen to the rear. Notice how they beep a lot further back. Now have a listen to the front again. Now these two variances can be changed if you wish, and is my personal recommendation on the setting that you should change with your parking sensors, mainly because with most other manufacturers you'll find the parking sensors are the same for front and back. But they are slightly different on Mercedes. So to change this, all you do is head over to your settings menu on MBUX. So to change this so they match with the rear sensors, all you do is swipe all the way across to the right hand side to settings on your MBUX multimedia screen. Go in here and find the menu called Assistance. Click on this one and then find the menu called Camera and Parking. And in here will be an option called Warn Early All Around. This is my #1 suggestion for maximising and making use of the parking sensors, mainly because it's going to mimic the same kind of variables as what the sensors do in the rear. So instead of beeping last second, which was about the width of the steering wheel, it will beep a lot further back, giving you a bit more indication as to what's actually going on. And while you're in this menu as well, you can also adjust the volume of the parking sensors. So if you want to make them a little bit quieter, click on this one and you can swipe left or right. And make them louder or quieter. You can also adjust the pitch as well, so click on this, you can then swipe left and right. You can almost play a tune on that one. But yeah, you can of course change the parking sensor volume, pitch, and of course that warn early all round to maximise and make use of all the parking sensors. Now on some selected models of Mercedes-Benz there are a couple of options underneath these. So of course warn early all round, volume and pitch are the most common ones, but then on some models you've got settings for adjusting audio fade out during warning tones. So this is if you have your radio or music playback off your phone for example, this will fade that music down so you can hear your sensors just a little bit more clearly, which I think everyone should have on anyway. Underneath this is auto reversing camera. Quite simply does what it says on the tin. When you pop it into reverse, the camera comes on, but underneath is a thing called maneuvering assistance. Maneuvering assistance is actually a slightly new thing found on selected Mercedes-Benz models. Basically, it's a red warning triangle very similar to active brake assist, but it's for the parking sensors, but it's for slow speeds. So if you think active brake assist is of course for on the move, the red warning triangle you see on your dashboard, maneuvering assist is for when you're parking. Basically, if there's any objects or things near the car when you're parking, this can autonomously apply the brakes if it thinks you're going to have a severe impact with them, or at least it will reduce the speed anyway. So it's very similar to active brake assist, but it's just for slower speeds. And there we have it, guys. That concludes this week's video on maximising your parking sensors in your Mercedes-Benz. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Hit that like button and that subscribe button. And as always, huge shout out to Sandown Mercedes-Benz, as they provided all these awesome cars that you see in the video today. Until next week, we'll see you then.